Hello, Scrappy Peeps. Welcome to my channel. It's Suzanna here today for another episode of PaperPerson Playtime, a series that I do with my friend Christina and Sara Scraps using the PaperPerson kits. So this is the first. Well, first of all, I'll walk you through the February kit. So the stamps are these that come with the kit. The first set was the add-ons, the labels that come with the kit, white letter stickers, just the thank you stickers, and then the pattern papers this month. So you get the digitals, which I cut apart and printed, and then you get exclusive papers. So 3x4 cards as well as 4x6 cards, and the theme this month is food. I'm going to apologize now. The colors on the close-ups to show you the patterns sort of warp as you see from the lights and the shine and the shimmer. And then but you'll see them as I drop them down lower. I also got the four as an add-on to the kit. I got the cardstock. It's only $2.99, I think, for the 4 pieces, so 50 cents, which it's not cheap. You can do better, but it's nice to have the colors that match with this. So I have a collage of photos. The left-hand collage is 3 photos that I printed all together to serve as a 4x6 photo, and I think it ends up being 3.5 by whatever 4.3, 4 times 3 blows up to is 4 wide. So I think it's 5.3 by 5 by 4 is the larger photo. And then that other collaged photo beside it is the same size as the collage photos, the 3 vertical photos there. So I have fussy cut one of the cards, so the pots and pans or the pots, and I'm working with a particular color palette. So I've chosen the maroons, the oranges, and the tan sort of colors to work with here. I have I'll just call it kitchen gadget paper to work with as well. I could have also used, there's the grid, it's sort of a mustardy color grid, that same color as that home that's there, as well as the knives, forks, and spoons. It's sort of it looks like a plaid. I could have worked with those as well, but what I found is the colors for my pictures, including the empanadas, are perfect, but it all sort of melded together. It needed a different color to pull things out, so I could have gone with the navy, but you'll see later on I incorporate a little bit more of that mint green to the layout and that's the reason I did that, so that green there. The reason I incorporate that is because that is actually the color shirt that she is wearing. I thought maybe I could fussy cut homemade from the 3x4 card to build that into the title as well, but I did not. Just didn't. Don't know why. So that home, I'm not sure what it says because it's not in front of me and I don't have it on the layout. But that right there, the yellow mustardy color home, and then the circle that says fresh out of the oven, those are digitals. They're the digital stamps that I actually printed. And so the reason you'll see them as a funny color in the close-ups at the end is they're on white photo paper, but because they're on glossy photo paper, they picked up a funny tint in the photography process. So I'm struggling here. I know I want the stripes on the page just as they are, and I knew I wanted the kitchen utensils, but I'm struggling with how it's all going to work with the alignment of the photos here. And so you can see me doing a shuffle. What I'm pointing to there is I liked the pictures the way they were, that I had originally had them, because it's the order that it happened in. The empanadas are the end, right? And so if you move them to the left to make everything work so you don't have that empty space on the left-hand side, it bothered me to no end. And I didn't like the way that the 3x4 card was under and over. So I solved this by chopping off one of the photos. It really wasn't critical to the storytelling. You get the making, the taking off the tray, and then the finished empanadas, and it still tells the story without having that other photo there. And it allows me to not have that empty space that was really bothering me. So a design principle to consider: you don't want trapped space. You don't want to have like that strip and then the photo with an inch in between. There's nothing wrong with it. It just from a design principle is it disrupts the flow of the layout. So I've committed to this, yay, finally. And so I'm going to adhere all of that down and then work with adding the embellishments. So that is one of the cards that came with the collection. I think that's actually my printed version. Sometimes you can get the colors right. I always manage to get the reds right, but the darker colors, well, I shouldn't say I get the reds. Those oranges I got spot on this time, but the dark blues that are in the kit, I could not get those to print the way that they actually print in from the from the kit. I think some of that has to do too with it. The printed papers are on a glossy, a semi-gloss cardstock, and I am printing on either glossy photo paper, which I actually tend not to do, but mostly I'm printing on cardstock, matte cardstock, and so it changes the color. Even messing with the color options in the printer at the print at the end, it's still, I can't get it to match with those blues, but so be it. So I want to incorporate this in there. This home cooked is essentially what it says, but it's pulling another color in. It's pulling that mustard yellow in, which is not, that is more of a same color family color, and I want to break outside of the color wheel and go on a diagonal, which is, so I've used the extra of that green and just used my punch to put a little bit of green on the right hand side of the empanadas. Now I'm going to use the remainder of that green that I have left over and stamp the pots and pans and kitchen utensils and cutting board and it's patterned, but that's okay because you still get the idea there, and that'll go on the left hand side, and I'm going to use one of the cards that says Bon Appetit, and that creates the visual triangle throughout the layout that guides your eye through the title, the photos, and then the journaling as well. So creating some different, rather than using embellishment clusters to create the visual triangle, I've used the color mint green to create that visual triangle there. I will off camera actually put some enamel dots, and again that just adds a little bit more color to it. So there's the card that I was referencing, and what I decided to do here is I get my zigzag scissors, those really old throwback Fisker scissors. You've seen me use them a bit. It sort of is the illusion of like the top of a brown paper bag. You know how those bags that you get, yeah, so I figured that would give it, as an afterthought, I was like, oh, I really should have inked it to make that zigzag more distinct, but it's adhered down now, and I could ink it, but I'm not one to really ink edges, and so it didn't occur to me at the time. But something that I could have done differently was definitely that. So there are the 3 green mint bits for that visual triangle there. I have popped up the pots, and so I will pop up that round sticker too, to give you that dimension to the page as well with as the enamel dots. So I felt like I needed something on the left hand side of that photo to just sort of provide a line. You pretty much go from the photo, from the border, that striped border, straight into her without that little grid there, so that it's an orange grid, soft orange, sort of a rusty orange grid that's on the back side of those cards there. This is a stamp that says made from scratch. She had homemade these empanadas. So the story was I cleaned out some recipe books, and I had this tapas recipe book that was sitting on the kitchen counter, and Mia went through it and found all sorts of things that she wanted to make, and she had her heart set on making empanadas. So she made some meat empanadas. I think it was with using ground turkey. She replaced the beef with ground turkey. And then she made some spinach and raisin empanadas, and they were absolutely phenomenal. I don't think she realized how much work she was in for, and she definitely needed my husband's help with the dough. I am not a dough person, but they were absolutely phenomenal. So the title is not from the kit. I didn't use the white because it didn't work. I needed that orange color, rusty orange, and that will wrap it up, other than the enamel dots and the journaling that I will do off camera. So be sure to head over to Sara Scraps and Christina's channels. I'll link you down below. Enjoy the close-ups, and if you have any questions about the kit and or what I've done in this layout, please don't hesitate to ask. You can leave those questions in the description box down below. Enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. Come back again in 2 weeks. Well, come back sooner, but in 2 weeks I will share my next layout with this particular kit. Take care.